So I think I can use maybe the even better ideas when we just kind of this second phase of this round. Yeah. So this is when it kind of become difficult, especially when enemy tracer got 2 picks, I think. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's kind of, yeah, what can I do to kind of prevent this tracer, right? A lot of the time, people ask this question, yeah, like how do you prevent this? Okay, and the big thing about the Winston and any mobile character in general is just how you abuse your abilities. So what do we need to do as your first step with the positioning is to think of where most of your team is gonna go. So for example, here you see your core is going from A, they're going towards A, maybe in this direction, or they might go towards the left. Okay, it seems like you guys most likely about to fight this area here. Okay, so now when you identified where the area is where you're gonna fight, you need to look to set up in the way so you turn enemy attention at you. So you start grabbing initial pressure just in case. So the tracer, maybe she will not try to chase your DPS, but instead of it, she will try to shoot you initially. Yeah, so this is your main goal as a tank, kind of making sure you grab the initial pressure, you grab all the enemy's attention. Okay, and the question is, if you're looking to pressure this area, where are you gonna go? Yeah, where you gonna go to grab the enemy's attention potentially without dying, though? Where can you set up to fight this area? What do you think?
Um, to fight that area, I don't think it's wise to dive past because then I'm out of line of sight to my supports. Probably just going to the front, putting down bubble, and just zapping them, keeping them back, right?
Uh, can you repeat that again? Dive into where again?
So like here where the double arches are,
Yeah.
I think you can just like put bubble down and just try zapping them and keeping them
Okay.
back. Because
Okay.
I don't think it's wise to kind of
Mhm.
dive past them here.
Right.
Because then
Right.
you're out of, because not only are the supports getting bullied by the tracer, but now I'm out of line of
Right.
sight. So I could just die
Okay.
if I go there.
Okay. So there are two concerns. Tracer. Yeah. Let's put it this way. Yeah? Tracer and line of sight. Now let's first of all talk about line of sight. Are we really out of line of sight? For example, if we dive in somewhere here, out of aren't you still in line of sight of your supports? For example.
Well, yeah, so I'm the Ana, but it's kind of
Yeah.
awkward, and they're being forced like into awkward positions by the tracer is what I'm concerned about.
Yeah. So
So
no.
it's like
Let's deal with the problems one by one. Yeah. So line of sight. This is good enough, right? We have the Ana. We potentially can have the Ana in this region, right? If we at a position B.
I just don't trust people at this rank.
Yeah, no, but it don't matter. It don't matter if you trust. You just identify where this area is, and you identify because you look around, right? You look around and check what is happening, and this Ana can potentially see you. So this is good enough. Okay, there's a problem. When we playing, so okay, line of sight. We got it. Yeah, line of sight. It's still possible, but the question is, yeah, do we really trust these people? Well, sometimes they might not heal you, sure, and they're getting killed, so you're kind of trying to stay with them. Yeah, but the main problem, and it's pretty common, when you're trying to tank, you most of the tank they tend to stay with the team. They tend to stay with the core. That's exactly what gets them killed. So let's put it this way. What is your main job of the tank? What are you looking to do in the fight, usually?
Create space,
Create space. How do you create space?
I guess.
Just in
Well,
general.
I mean, by jumping into an area and just kind of
Well, it
like be
depends.
in there. Like,
Sure.
you can also split them up, I guess, but I don't think that's doable here. Kind of. Aside from like the
It's difficult.
tracer.
Yeah, difficult task. Yeah, I don't think you can split them up. Yeah, but let's put it this way: if we say that your main job as a tank is to distract an enemy team, to turn the attention of the enemy team, yeah. If we stay at this position with our team, do we actively force this tracer to shoot you? Yeah, the
I
question
think the
is,
Tracer.
Mhm.
Oh no, that's the Sombra. Never mind. Uh, I guess not.
Yeah, this is exactly the problem with most tanks facing. Yeah, because we stay with the core, you stay with your team now. These guys, they can completely avoid you and kill your DPS and kill your supports. That's exactly what getting them killed, right? And your idea is to make sure the attention goes to you. Okay, with every tank you can do it in a different way, right? You can maybe with something like Winston, for instance, you can jump in somewhere in, make these guys look around, make them turn at you, so they start pulling some of the attention towards you, and see what happens. Let's say this tracer looks at you now. Okay, when you somewhere behind, yeah, like let's say you would be, of course it might be concerning, but we'll go through that later, where this position might be good. Okay, let's say this tracer looks at you. Okay, can your team potentially kill that tracer? Do they have line of sight on the tracer to shoot her?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So and we have hit scans.
yeah,
So they
exactly,
can
like
probably.
almost everybody. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So and this is how you think. You trying to kind of usually get in the area, first of all, set up in the area. You force the enemies to look at you, and because they look at you, they die. But because we stay in a position where you're not really forcing them to chase you, then it becomes difficult. Yeah. So this is sort of speak. If you know where your team is about to fight, this is what I call the kill zone. Usually, where most of your team can apply pressure, because you bait the enemy team to stay in the kill zone. You bait somebody to stay in the kill zone. You just kill them. Let's say you hear Tracer goes in you. Well, does matter. We still can get support. We still and it's just with the damage or with the healing. Yeah, your Ana can potentially heal you. Even your Moira, if she wants, she can just use Fade and go towards you. But this is how we're creating space, trying to set up. Okay, so this idea, general ideas, making sure to identify where your core is, where they're going, and looking to set up on 180 angle, ideally, if possible. Okay, so obviously there are things like cover, you want to think about that, yet the concern is, oh, what happens if this guys chase me, which in reality this should be okay. Tracer versus Winston, when you getting healed by Ana, is doable, especially with all the support from your team. They can shoot the Tracer, so this is fine. You're not really isolating yourself, yeah? But because you're 180 angle, so your team goes from here, you go from here, this turning the enemy attention a lot. And this is what allows you to get kills on the map, basically, okay? So, first of all, does this make sense? Kind of jumping to 180 angle, trying to set up on 180 angle, or any questions?
No, that makes sense.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go over a few examples where it could be done as well. Yeah, so this is an example of how we break into the choke. Yeah, so the first step is, let's look to set up, let's go on the 180. Okay, this can be done. And even at your first fight, that is something to think about, okay? That's why I was asking, oh, what are your plan with rotation is? Yeah, where can you go? So you make it easy for you to engage on the enemy. Yeah, see, I think your position is gonna be right in the high ground. So it's gonna be here. Okay. Also, just a small note. If you want to do that, it's also a little bit easier if you jump from here this way. But it's not too big of a deal. I think this setup was pretty decent already. So you have this position here, and now your core goes from here. Okay. And you on this high ground. So this is kind of not 180 angle exactly, right? But the thing is, you're trying to usually lean towards 180, yeah? There's no strict rule, oh, you always gotta find 180 angles, so you turn the enemy's attention around, okay? You know that your team is going from A, now, where your team is about to fight. What is that location where they gonna be actively doing things, most likely? What do you think?
All right, where the enemies are all grouped up. Kind of, or maybe
look at where your team is set up, where they can actively put pressure at the moment.
I guess like kind of right where the ram, like just past, like before where the ram through the whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, this one. Yeah. This the slow one. Yeah. You're totally right. And this is how you do it. Yeah, you can scout for this information, identify this area where you guys have all your sightlines kind of, where you can do proper damage, and you're looking to set up this most ideal 180 angle. Okay, so now the question is, where do you go to be able to easily engage on this, let's call it A area, where you should be?
There's a gap in the little
Yes, this one.
tower on site. We can go up there.
Exactly. Easily solved, yeah. Now, you're not gonna take too much damage, you're not gonna take too much poke, but you have this decent 180 angle. You see, this is where you gotta be patient, though. You don't have to engage right away. You can let these guys in. This is more of a, like a tracer mentality in the way you can be sneaking. You don't have to do pressure yet. You wanna do pressure when it's really valuable to your team, where they can actually do things. When you're tanking in this area A, these guys can easily capitalize on it. If you jump in too early, then these guys can't do anything. That's why they die at the end. Yeah, so we're trying to kind of get in those positions. This is here, this is decent. Yeah, so this is example here. Okay, and I think we got example on this other point. So it was this one. Okay, he was using this high gun here, which worked actually. It worked at the start, but something went wrong. Let's see what was that.
So that kill on the Sojourn who was feeding her ass out.
Yeah,
and then
that was good. Yeah.
Bubble off the heels, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that was decent. Yeah, you engaging and see your team. Most of your team can follow up on this as well. Yeah, it's really possible that you're gonna get a kill because of all this pressure here. And yeah, even just being by yourself, I think most likely it would be possible for you to easily get that surgeon. It's just Delaria, she might heal her, but yeah, that was good. Okay, so right after here, use the bubble. Okay, now this is the next kind of the next moment you're gonna be thinking about. So once you've done the circle, so what you done there, you kind of looking to set up 180 angle and then engage. Yeah, ideally when you're engaging, you don't need to use your jump. Even if you can avoid using your jump, that's fine. If you want to use your jump, if there's no other possibility, then this also works. And see, this is kind of, you went from setup to instantly engage cycle because you're already at this good position which allows you to use the bubble anyway. Yeah, engage is when you exactly using the bubble. It's when you start applying pressure. But once you've done it, once the bubble is over, so you're done setup, let's say 180 angle, and here you use your bubble. Okay, bubble is used. Now you have to repeat the same process again. You have to stabilize and set up one more time. And the question is, where are you gonna go again? See, most of your team is here. So what is your 180 angle then? Where you
probably on the other side of their choke, behind, like, kind of further behind the ram.
Exactly. Go there. Go here, or maybe even using this wall might work as well. Why not?
Just iffy because there's a tracer on point. So
yeah, well, tracer, you can actually maybe kind of soft contest this point, yeah, because just you don't want to give it up too quickly, maybe right click her, but this is not the main concern here. We're just fighting with people who are killable and who your team can follow up on. Yeah, so the question is this tracer really killable, or can your team really follow up on this tracer if you're fighting her? Not as much, yeah.
I don't think she's very killable, and the team is like focused on the ram. Yeah, only the Anna's paying attention, so they're not really right here. They're not really in a position to do much.
Exactly, yeah. So you don't have to engage and jump on the tracer right away. But what you can do is this setup potentially. Maybe you might force this tracer into sidelines of your team where they can actively do things. This can work. If tracer chases you, well, this is fine. This works for you as well. Anna can just two-shot the tracer and force the recall out, force all of your blinks out as well. So why not?
Yeah.
But the first step is let's set up somewhere, and after that you looking to engage. So again, the important note with engagement is you're usually using your bubble, and if you can avoid using your jump, just keep it, just go in and zap. If not, then you can use your jump. And see now, because we're staying with our core, it just becomes a little bit complicated. This guy's eventually... I think
fuck up that jump.
well,
That was cringe.
this happens, but this is kind of to me, it's not too big of a deal. It's just if the intent was to set up 180 angle, then this is fine. Yeah, I think the intention was to not go on 180 angle exactly. Maybe it was kind of rush decision to contest the point, yeah, or something, yeah. And it's not good intention. Yeah, we always want to look at what was the initial intention. If the intention is right, I have no problem, to be honest. Mechanics, all of that is just you playing the game over and over again, and you're gonna get it. It's fine. There's no problem. Okay, so yeah, this here is just a little bit rushed, yeah, tension, and yeah, eventually it's just hard to get kills. So yeah, okay. So two simple ideas: setup, engage. I'm just gonna look at some visuals. I think I have some, and then we can do one more game and try to apply it, and then we can also do yeah, I think we can do another, just go over other concepts as well. Let me see. Do I have anything? Just 1 second. Actually, I was making a video on Winston recently as well, so maybe I can share some of the last words I saved to just give you an example. If I don't have those, then it's fine as well, I guess, but let me find, because I had something. Okay. It's right here. Okay, maybe do you have any questions so far?
I guess a question I have is, I mentioned I also secondary Diva, so how would this kind of like, does the same kind of concept apply to Diva, or a bit different?
You can try. The fundamental idea is going to be the same, because you both abusing mobility, so you want to turn the enemy's attention around as well. It's just with the Diva, you can go for really deep dives, because your well, it's your mobility, you can't go as far as Winston. It's just something you gotta be paying attention to. And your engagement moments, you can't stay in the fight when you're engaging as long. So because you have limited matrix. If you compare Winston bubble and matrix, Winston bubble is stronger. That's why you can stay in the fight longer. But the Diva does more burst and can engage more frequently, because it's just yeah, the if you compare the mobility, Winston mobility and the Divas, Winston can engage less, the Diva can engage more. So it's just Diva more frequent engages, more burst, but can stay in the fight as long. Winston, it's long engage, yeah, you can stay in the fight long as well, but then you have to get out and recharge your resources longer. Yeah, so it's
okay.
Kind of like that. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just trying to find an example. Yeah, let's. Okay. Okay, I'm screen sharing. Can you see my stream?
I'm just gonna end mine.
Yeah. Oh, so for this primal practice, let me see before, so I will not forget. Winston ultimate practice. I think it's this one. Let me check. Just gonna explain and go with that real quick, but you can use that. Okay, can you see my stream just fine now?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so basically this here is just pretty simple one, but what you're doing with this is you go into your lobby and then click the enemy team, just team 2, and you're gonna find the bots. You just need to like add AI, and I usually recommend maybe add a couple of Lucius, and maybe you can add a couple of soldiers as well. So here maybe you can set it to like ultimate, difficulty ultimate, and then just play something like fine, yeah, let's say Lucio, for example. And then you click here, team 2, add, and then there are gonna be a lot of bots out there. So what are you doing with the ultimate practice is just making sure you consistently can jump towards the enemy, yeah, so you're really close to them, and you can punch them as well. What I recommend doing with this practice is just making sure you really can hit as many punches as possible, and do that before every game session. I think if you're playing Winston most of the time, I think this is quite good practice. So you're trying to maybe invest 15-20 minutes before each game and try to kind of, yeah, just fight those bots. Ideally, maybe start with the open here, because they're always gonna go towards you. Yeah, let's say you fight here, okay, and then you can try to do all of this mechanics together. So you kind of jump, and then you ult, and then you repeat the same cycle. Yeah? So it's kind of, you gotta manage the W and S key at the same time. Yeah, so when you jump in, it's gonna be much harder, yeah, like when you're in the air, you have to press W key to like beat the enemy. Maybe sometimes they change in the movement pattern, you have to press S key. It's just all about kind of getting familiar and being intuitive with when to press W, when to press S key, and hitting your punch right after that, yeah. It's just something like, yeah, you want to be really consistent with that. And to be honest, it takes a lot of practice. Like me, I don't think I can even do it now consistently, like, because I just don't play Winston as much at the moment. But, you know, if you do it constantly every day, I think this can work quite well. And just practicing that, why not? I'm just gonna share the code first of all. Okay, show lobby, settings, import code. Yeah, remember, oh, sorry, save, no, it was a share code, yeah. Continue.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna copy, and you only have to add the bots. Okay, so I'm gonna use the summary for this. Winston. So this is how your summary is gonna look like. By the way, here I'm gonna write down a bunch of things you need to work on, but here you can have Winston, ult, practice, and that is your code. I'm gonna say 15-20 minutes before each game session is good enough. Yeah, and it can also warm up you as well. Okay, and now about the game. So setup and engagement steps, I think you do those quite well. It's just the specifics, it's just the quality of how you apply this. And the first important part, like why it's difficult for you to apply it, is because you take a lot of pressure, you take a lot of damage. So I'm just gonna go with that real quick. Here, go in history, yeah, let's do that. So there have been a lot of moments where you especially like, oh, why this guy is not healing me? Like, yeah, it's just they can heal you, yeah, and then it's still like pretty difficult, right? Sometimes it's just we're still getting out pressured, right? It's especially I think on attack. Yeah, there were a couple of moments here, like let's say you jump to this high ground here, yeah, you fight these people. Okay, now I think you're gonna fight for this middle section. Okay, so this is exactly the moment. Something to think about. See this little right click right there, okay? The question is that really important? Is that something you should be doing at the moment?
I guess not.
Why not?
I guess you get more damage and ult charge from primary.
Yeah, but let's kind of look at if you can't primary fire anyone, yeah, let's say you're just out of the range, yeah, then what? Let's say you're trying to shoot the bastion with your right click. Is that something what is worth to trade? Yeah, the bastion's damage with your right click damage.
No.
Not as much. Yeah, see, and this is kind of the main idea. When you about to engage, ideally, you want to have as much armor as possible. You want to make sure the armor is almost full. That's the most ideal. And how to achieve that is actually by not doing the right click as much. The right click is kind of mostly for when you're really confident you can get a kill and you just need an extra burst of damage. Before that, you can treat and be like sort of in a tracer mindset. You don't have to do as much pressure. Of course, there will be moments where you will start recognizing when doing right click can actually work and all of that. But for now, I would just completely avoid that. I would just entirely focus on how to get to fight with the full HP. Yeah, just with the full armor. Yeah, because here, when you peeking way too much, there's a lot of pressure you can take. You can take the Kirikos, you can take the BAP, you can take the Bastions, and just one right click versus potential pressure from all these 3 people is not ideal. Okay, so this is gonna be one thing. Yep, making sure you have armor. Okay, second one is how do you use corners, and it's even here. Okay, just to kind of break it through, whenever you fighting the enemy, you want to make sure you isolating something, you putting an enemy as close as you can to some piece of cover. So see here, because you exposed all of these guys here, now they can easily shoot you, and it takes a lot of time for you to go behind the cover, go behind the corner. But what if we do it differently and use this piece of cover? So I call it horizontal corner, and this is your vertical corner. Okay, now if you use this to your advantage, I'm trying to isolate this BAP, for example, and you put this BAP as close as you can to the piece of cover. So see, because and instead of it being here where he's away from cover, where you can take a lot of pressure, you do it this way, and this way you minimize your hitbox. And because you minimize your hitbox, you're not getting pressured as much, and you don't need healing because of it. This is the most common mistake. Like why most of the tank mains struggle and they getting cooldowns for this, because they not utilizing corners as much. Yeah, so your idea is just isolate people, make sure you fight one target at a time, put them as close as you can to piece of cover. So even here, right click, well, maybe possible. I would avoid that for now, but maybe possible. But do it this way, yeah. Or when we jump, so you'll see it's gonna happen later. See, you had your armor at 400. Yeah, you had your armor at 400 because you just done one right click there. Okay, but then eventually go here. Okay, this is decent. Now, who are we fighting? Who are we fighting at the moment?
It's the Kiriko.
Kiriko. Okay, so who you shouldn't fight? Do you need to? Who you shouldn't? Let's put it this way. Do you need to take pressure from this guy's on point then?
No.
Not as much, yeah. So it's kind of, yeah, let's put it this way. You kind of grab their attention indirectly, yeah. They might look at you, but because you're using corners, you isolating the target, yeah. You put in an enemy as close as you can to corners and just, let's say, like, I'm isolating this guys. Okay, and I'm using this horizontal cover to my advantage, and, or maybe even this one, vertical cover, and I'm shooting Kiriko. Okay, only shooting Kiriko, trying to punish her there is enough. But because we're out in the open now, we take pressure here, there, here, and it's just way too much. And that's why you forced to use your bubble even. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, it's just how we use corners. Okay, consistently applying this. One more thing to say is because using corners while engaging. Yeah, let's say like I'm engaging something. Yeah, I'm putting enemies as close as I can to cover, kind of isolating them. So I'm just gonna write it down. Okay, isolate. Yeah, isolate enemy. Okay, when you're jumping, yeah, it's kind of your setup phase. You're going somewhere. You're trying to reach the fight. Yeah, you just wanna constantly make sure you also jump to the corner, so you're not jumping towards the open, but it's also corner. And see, it's constant thought process. I jump to the corner and I use the corner. Why those two things are different? Because when you're jumping, yeah, when you already jumped, you reach the cover somewhere, these guys, they can change their position eventually. Yeah, so let's say I reach the corner here. Well, this guy maybe can go up there. Maybe the security might change your position as well. Yeah, it takes time to adjust, and you have to think about that. But yeah, it's just you jump to the corner. So see, you jump not to the corner. You jumped out in the open, kind of on this cover here. Yeah, it's maybe not exactly, yeah, really open, but still, see what I mean? Yeah, you can take a little bit more pressure than needed. Yeah, and then we're not playing around the corners, so you take too much pressure. And this is kind of the constant pattern which I see. You'll see, like, maybe even in the moments later. So now you lost your armor, obviously. You have to disengage. Maybe like do not engage that actively, yeah, because it's difficult. But yeah, it's obviously like kind of tough without the armor. That's why you're getting, yeah, getting bursted, yeah. So you have to just give up the space. Okay, and then let's see what's gonna happen later. Okay, so same idea. Set up first. Let's see. Yeah, now once this is over, okay. Setup first. Think what corner you jumping towards. That's the first step. Okay. Now, when you're fighting these guys, well, what do you think? Is it good enough? We jump to this kind of here. What corner are you using at the moment? What kind of corner are you jumping towards?
I think we could go towards the doorway right next, or the opening right next to the Hanzo, probably.
Yeah, for example, why not? I think this can be possible, and see, we can maybe isolate, like, even this Kiri, yeah, let's say she's not chasing you, maybe you're just fighting the Hanzo, is good enough. Of course, you can zap 2 people at the same time, but because you have a corner, just in case, you can also isolate people, yeah, you're trying to isolate somebody, okay? Jump to the corner, first, second, use the corner, okay? Now, I'm using 2 pieces of cover. It's horizontal and vertical. Okay, now you're gonna notice when you engage on these people on top, I think you're gonna take a little bit extra pressure from these guys there because you're picking out a little bit too much. So we'll see that. Oh, actually, maybe not. Let me see. I think those. Yeah, it was decent. Actually, this one was decent. Okay, so this is a good one. That's why you survive, by the way. Yeah. And you have your full armor now. But now, see what you do next. You're picking out. See how much pressure you take, right? See how you lose your armor. Yeah, is that necessary for us to pick out at the moment? Yeah, in what kind of phase we are? So you're in the phase of the setup. Yeah, you're in the phase of setup. What that means for us? Where should you be going?
Probably hiding in the doorway or the opening right to my right, and then just chilling there for a sec, and then
I like it.
Waiting for
I like it. Just don't do anything. Even. I think cutting off your right click completely is good enough, because when you right click too much, you just take too much pressure. We can talk about when you can do the right click more, but I think for now, just kind of chill, be like a tracer, hide, wait mentality, and then when this guy's gonna be active, okay, you wait, this guy's active, your team is ready, let's fight. Now, let's fight. But now you took a lot of pressure, you can't fight anymore. And your Anne is supposed to heal you instead of healing your Echo, actually. So it's not as good. Yeah. This is where, like, Anne, why you're not healing me? Yeah, like, this is exactly what happens, yeah? And that's why it's difficult. And you have to disengage even, yeah? Well, let's say we're just using the corner. So what is that piece of cover? Vertical piece of cover is horizontal one here. And this is good enough. Okay. Let's see. Good examples maybe here. Just, oh, maybe even on a second point, it's still something to think about. I think this point is quite tricky. Okay. Oh, this one is a good example. Okay. Let's think. So, think about we set up. Okay. So you need to jump to the corner. Which corner you gotta jump to? Let's say, well, let's imagine your team is about to fight this doorway. Okay. So where do you go? 180 angle and jump to the corner. What do you think it is?
I think we can just jump to that island right by mid, right? Or right by the point.
Yep. So you're using what? You're using this as your corner, your horizontal cover, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I'm thinking.
Can
the only problem is that the only thing is then we're open to spawn. Well, not fair, but we're open to spawn.
Yeah. Well, it's okay, yes, as long as you know that you're about to fight here. If your team, even if your team's fighting spawn, it's okay. You don't. There's no big concern. What's that? It's just, well, if somebody comes from spawn, you know that, okay, then I don't want to be exposed to that. So maybe, well, actually, let's cover that. Okay, let's say you know the fire is going to come here. She's going to spam you, then what? So you can use this. Where do you go?
We can go to the lower part, like where the mini is. Kind of.
I like it, yeah.
Kind of like
this is better.
By the stairs.
Yeah, exactly. Go here. Maybe even using this is good enough, because so you're using this as your horizontal cover from Farah initially, just in case if she's spamming from spawn. If she goes up, then it's different. Of course, you have to kind of readjust here slightly, but still doable, yeah? We jump into the corner first to not take as much pressure. See, in our case, we jump towards the open, so too much pressure.
I didn't mean to do that. I meant to jump up there. It was accidental.
Yeah, it's just kind of to give an example. Yeah, I think the intention could be, yeah, it could be, yeah, sure, it could work. Just to give an example, yeah, I think it's better. Okay, let's think about how we use corners, and then later you can, once you engage in, yeah, also utilize the corners all around you. Well, here you have to disengage because HP is low. Okay. So it's the same thing gonna be here. Okay, how do we set up? So use the corner. Okay, trying to isolate. See, like this is what you want to do more as well. Maybe when you're in this setup phase, so you're not peaking too much pressure, too much damage, but just trying to see one target at a time. If you can, just zap them is good enough. Like what you did there, just kind of use this as your piece of cover, and you're also using here this as a piece of cover, and this way you minimizing your hitbox. So you just shoot in the Mercy. This is really decent, yeah. The maybe less experienced Winstons, they would do just go forward and shoot the Mercy, and now you're exposed to the hand. So yeah, in this case,
Yeah.
it's just your you lost your team, so you have to wait, you have to disengage, and later it's just the same process. Okay, where do I go? I need to jump to the corner. So it's kind of might be a tricky one. Usually it's common, maybe you go here, maybe you go there. I think this one is usually good, but yeah, you have to be careful. Okay, so you can use it as your corner first, and after you use the corner, you're gonna be good. And see, this is exactly like the moment. Okay, if I'm jumping towards the fire, yeah, okay, what corner I'm using to minimize the pressure. And now see, it's kind of out in the open. The fire can easily shoot you, yeah. But what if you're trying to maybe use some piece of cover? Maybe that would be something like, okay, I'm using this platform just in case if she flies up, I can always drop in. There's no problem. I have this roof against fire. Well, no problem. Maybe if you also know, oh, this guy's gonna come from A, the fire is at B at the same time. Well, maybe I should go inside this building even. Yeah, that's how you make a decision. You just think, okay, what kind of corners I'm using, yeah, and what target I'm fighting, and this way you're not gonna take as much poke damage anymore. Okay, yeah, I think this is the biggest thing, just with the corners. Okay, using your pretty much horizontal vertical cover to your advantage at any point of time. So yeah, I would just look to summarize. We mentioned quite a lot today, so what do you got out of today so far?
A lot. The 180 cover, that kind of thing.
Okay, so
I
one
think those are the key ones.
Okay, so 180 angle is about what? So it's just
It's about trying to put yourself, like, wherever your team is fighting, as close to directly on the opposite side of the enemy team as possible.
So really important note about that is you doing setup first, and then you're fighting, you engaging when most of your team is ready. Yeah, so I'm just gonna say the first step is setup. Yeah, first step is setup. First step, and then after that you're looking to engage. Okay. So it's your second step for now. I think this is good enough. Okay, and making sure you maybe scout. Yeah, let's say like when you about to fight. Yeah, let's look around and check where most of your team, what are they doing. So maybe like, let's say I decide to go this there, so I decide to go here. Just scout, look around and check, okay, where my team is. And once you know that, that gives you accurate information on should it be engaging or not. If not, well, maybe you have to wait. Maybe you can engage right away, yeah, because you know where they are. Now it becomes easier. You do it at the second step when you're engaging. Okay. Also, quite important is the thing about the armor. So how do you understand that? Yeah, like what we just mentioned, how to not take as much poke.
Is to play around your armor. So once you're out of armor, pretty much you're cooked to get out.
Okay, so let's engage when we have most of the armor. Okay, but how to maintain the armor? How to make sure you not lose it? So what were the common things for us?
Just chill, like take your spot and then just chill, so you don't need you don't take unnecessary damage, and play around cover.
Yeah, I think this maybe I'm just gonna even put it in our notes list. Let's avoid using right click. Let's avoid right click. Just focus on cover and just gonna mention like tracer mindset. Yeah, tracer, just hiding, waiting, being like a flanker, burst, but having big burst potential. This is your mindset. Later, we can talk about the right click a little bit more, but yeah, tracer mindset here. Okay, when do you engage? When is the best time for you to engage again?
When the team is ready, or when you can guarantee a kill.
Yeah, good. This is good. Yeah, it's pretty much an exception. When you're confident you can get a kill, yeah, just go whenever. Usually, just make sure you survive though. If you're way too deep, it's kind of usually one jump away from your team. Then that's where it becomes difficult. Yeah, like let's say my team is here. Okay, and I'm here one jump away. So if you jump, you're not gonna reach your team. Usually it's not good enough, but yeah. Of course, there are some exceptions as well, but this is kind of a general rule we can think about. Okay, yeah, so it was pretty much positional today. Yeah? All the things about position. And what I would do later, we can focus on, for sure, we can discuss mental more. So this is one of the things. I can go with that more, just how to maybe focus on what is under your control. Let's put it this way, I kind of avoid focusing on your team too much. There are a few exercises, actually. I can share those with you as well. And we can go over more in-depth bubble management and corners usage.